What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday. Hey, it's at 5:30 a.m. here in Australia, and my body hasn't quite adjusted to this time zone yet. And look, I've been up since 4 a.m. Australian time watching NFL football, just like you are. Look, my Saints trying to be competitive today, but we've seen this story before with the Saints. They'll be competitive and find a way to lose. This team just doesn't have enough winners on this ball club to be successful. Of course, I'm rooting for them, but I just don't see it happening. Falcons whipping up on the Commanders. Didn't see that happening. The Giants beating the Chargers. And Malik Neighbors, man, tough blow. May have a torn ACL. Definitely bad news. Hate to see that. Former LSU players on one of my fantasy teams, too. So definitely hate to see that happening with Malik Neighbors. Looked like the Buccaneers trying to make a late rally against the Eagles. Eagles still up like 31-20. Still expect the Eagles to win that one. The Steelers, of course, beat the Vikings in Dublin. That turned out to be a heck of a game early this morning as well. So great NFL Sunday so far. So enjoy the rest of the action. Definitely it's going to be very interesting. We got some really good football coming up. And while we're on the football, we're going to talk a little bit about some college football, particularly the Big Ten and the SEC. It looks like the Big Ten and the SEC is going to dominate the college football playoff picture. When you look at the Big Ten right now, Ohio State and Oregon looking like they're standing out above the rest. And still, you're going to expect Penn State to get in the playoffs. And then maybe a team like Indiana, they'll probably get in with their quarterback situation. Fernando Mendoza has been outstanding this year. And then we look at the SEC, Alabama beating Georgia, so they're going to get back in the picture. Ole Miss beating LSU, so they're going to be in the picture. Even Texas as well, right? They're going to probably get back into this picture as well. So a lot of teams in the SEC now with one loss already. Vanderbilt undefeated. Diago Pavia playing extremely well. I expect them to lose to Alabama on next week. And speaking of college football, let's talk about some predictions for next week, an early look into next weekend. And I do expect Alabama to beat Vanderbilt. Looked like Vanderbilt or Alabama has learned from their opening loss against Florida State, right? So I'm picking Alabama to beat Vanderbilt and give them their first loss, even though Diago Pavia is playing outstanding at the quarterback position for Vanderbilt. 5 touchdowns on yesterday. Clemson going on the road against North Carolina next weekend in the ACC. And look, this Bill Belichick team has not looked great at all. Clemson hasn't looked great at all either. And I'm picking Clemson on the road to go to North Carolina and win on next week. The big game in college football next weekend is Miami on the road against Florida State. Florida State, an ugly loss to Virginia on Friday night. Miami's got 2 weeks to prepare for Florida State. I like Miami on the road to go to Tallahassee and win. When I look at the way Florida State's defense played the other night, they were atrocious. I think Miami will exploit that. Miami's got one of the best offensive lines in college football. Carson Beck is playing like a Heisman candidate. And Miami's defense is much improved with Ruben Bain, edge rusher, playing outstanding, looking like a first-round pick from Miami. So I like Miami in that one. Let's move over to some baseball here. College baseball will be starting up in a couple of months. And who are my top 3 teams? UCLA will be preseason number 1. And they probably going to have the Player of the Year candidate in Rock Chalowski. He's the favorite to win Player of the Year in college baseball. My LSU Tigers won 2 out of the last 3 championships. They're going to be in the mix again, right? I got them preseason number 2. Jay Johnson does a phenomenal job getting players from the transfer portal. They're going to be really good. And then number 3, watch Texas in the SEC. Today's the last day of the Major League Baseball season, right? A lot of intriguing things happening. If the Reds win today, they're in the National League. If the Mets win and the Reds lose, the Mets will get that last wild card spot. And the Cleveland Guardians clinched on yesterday, so that officially eliminates the Houston Astros from the playoffs. A huge fall from grace for Houston this year. They were leading the division for most of the season. And then you got the American League East battle. If the Yankees win and the Blue Jays lose, Yankees are divisional champs. They'll probably get a bye. And of course, if the Blue Jays win, they automatically win the AL East. So an exciting time. The playoffs start this Tuesday. So enjoy it. It's going to be a great October baseball. A lot of teams are in contention to win it all, in my opinion. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your football Sunday. I'm about to get back to it too. Y'all have an amazing week this week. All right, everyone, be blessed.